So at work, you are a she.
Yeah. What will me do?
But when you go back home, you are a husband.
Yeah.
Take me through the journey where you are trying to help your mom understand your condition so that she can stop misjudging you.
She's not agreeing with the situation. Anajua she gave birth to a girl. On the side of dating, because of my mode of dressing, and because I was brought up like a lady, of course, who will approach me?
Amen.
Amen.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. Our guest today, Wendy, was a happily married intersex who publicly came out to create awareness about their condition and try and mend their relationship with their mother, but things seems to be working against him. My name is Njeri Mercy and this is Wendy Mwendo's story. Hi Wendy.
I'm good. Hi to you too.
Okay, nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you too.
And karibu to our channel.
Thank you.
So looking at that camera, you can introduce yourself to people who are meeting you for the first time.
I'm Wendy Mwendwa, a Marian who has been brought up in a life of a lady, but eventually the life changed to a boy. And because it was hard to realize, because in Ushago, people don't understand whether there is another gender. They only understand it's feminine and masculine. I came to realize later that there is a gender called intersex. So I'm happy of being an intersex because I couldn't change the reality. That is how I was born. In my life, my current life, I'm happy to be a man, although I was brought up like a lady by my parents, which was mistaken. But I thank God that at least now I've started opening up my mind slowly by slowly and knowing whom am I. I thank God for knowing whom am I at this hinge, the hinge that I can't commit suicide. Those things passed away long time ago. The thing I tried when I was in my teenage, for now I can't, because I have come to open up my mind and know that I was creating. I'm not a stranger. I'm not an animal. There are so many who are like me. So for now, I'm happy of my gender. So happy, by the way. Yeah, Jerry.
So maybe you can take us through your bringing up, how you have told us that you lived in Meru, which is a village where people don't understand that there's another gender apart from male and female. At what point as a child did you realize that I am different from the rest?
On side of realizing I'm different, I came to realize I'm different at the hinge of, I may say, when I was in Form 2. Those other years back, I came to know there is something different from me when I was in class 7, when I started attending my adolescence. That is when I realized, and there are some functions they are happening to those other girls, but on my side they are not. Like breast broadening, they were not happening to me. So I was like, let me wait for God's time. But now in Form 2, that is when I realized things are different. Things are not going the way I was expecting. But still I continued waiting. Till to time, I may say like 2 years back, 3 years back, when I have realized now, it is now. Now it's now. This is me. I have to find out who is me. Kwa sababu the time of adolescence may pass. Now I've turned 27. I've turned 26 and above. No more changing. So I have to get more and more to understand whom am I. Yeah, that is when nilienda online, Google na get more information to know whom am I. That's when I realized I'm an intersex. Yeah.
The whole time you didn't realize. So how are you relating with other girls as a teenage girl who is realizing that she's different from the rest?
Okay. In Ushago, I may say, because I was brought up in a remote area, I was just relating with them like any other girl, but on my side, with a lot of stigma, that these people or others have this and this, they are doing this and this, but me, I'm not doing. On my side, I was the one who was understanding I'm different. Although I was hearing from the people that I'm different, they are saying that this person is like this and this and this and this and this. Although I've never paid any attention to them. Mimi nilikuwa tu na focus. I have been, since my childhood, I have been a happier person. So even notifying some things, mimi sijai isolate myself. I've been with other children, playing with them. No matter how they will say, no matter how their parents will say, no matter any situation, I've been playing with the other children like normally. Although me myself, in my person, it was reaching a time nanjiongelesha nanjiambia no, I'm not like them. Sigma inakuja tu some minutes tena unapata mimi nimerudi tu normal tu, I'm happy, mimi niko tu naishi tu like any other person. Yeah.
So as a teenage person, of course, your time, adolescence and whatever, people normally start to develop feelings, and mostly towards the other gender. Was it the same case for you?
Yeah, but haikukuwa understandable. Me, I couldn't say I have the feeling on this gender or this gender. Yeah, I was like, hivyo tu. Singe tambua I have the feeling towards this gender or the other gender, or the female gender or the male gender. Singe tambua. Kwa sababu bando, unasikia bando mind yangu iko intact, haitambui anything, mi niko tu. Yeah.
Right away, still, you had not understood what you are at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. So the doctors, or your condition, unaitwa intersex, but now you are identifying as a man. Intersex people may assume that you have a chance to identify as a lady or as a man. Why did you decide to be a he? There,
at that point of, you have asked me, why did I decided to be a he? On our side, we prefer nouns, they, them.
Okay.
Not he. Because I'm not a man, I'm an intersex. I'm not a female to be called she, I'm an intersex. That's why our pronouns are they, them. But to those who does not know, like me, nimejitambua. I appreciate the way Jerry, the other person, that other person will call me. Kwa sababu ajui. But in case ni realize you know, sitapenda. Unaelewa?
Oh.
Yeah, kwa sababu yes, we are in a developing country, not a developed country, whereby so many people know these things. So many people don't know these things. That's why someone will mistaken and call you she. Like in my work, so many calls me, but I think it's 99% who calls me madam.
Oh.
According to my work and where I am, I'm at the reception. So many calls me madam. But I have no courage of going fighting everyone. I have no courage of explaining to everyone that don't call me this, call me this. I just appreciate. I just naitikia tu because I have no other ways. Naitikia tu. Yeah.
Take me through the journey where you are trying to help your mom understand your condition so that she can stop misjudging you.
Me, for sure, I've never spoken to my mom about the condition. She has never spoken to me. I've never spoken to my siblings, no a dad, no a cousins, no. I've never spoken to anybody, my relative, since I hadn't the years that I am in now. I think I may say I descended now. People are saying, so even my relatives are people. But they have never faced me. We speak of the condition facially. But, so I think last month, that is when I decided now, it's over. Enough is enough. Let me get out, even to my people. I was lucky to be in a certain newspaper whereby I went with it home. I gave my sister and pray, because we have that ushamba of fearing somebody who is older than you. Mimi, I told her, read the newspaper after I have gone. Because when she happens to read the newspaper in front of me, she might ask me questions or start some other things that are... So I told her, read the newspaper with my absence. She read. Later, she called me, akaniambia, I've given Madhi the... Nikamwambia, soma the newspaper and then give Madhi. Madhi anajua kusoma. She gave her.
Alisoma.
Madhi alisoma. Mimi, I called my sister, I asked her, what was her reaction and what are your reactions? My sister told me, Mimi, umeniuguza, sijui nitapona lini. Nikamuliza, what about mom's reaction? Ati, she's not agreeing with the situation. Anajua, she gave birth to a girl. Me, I stayed without speaking to my mom in a phone, But later, I called her. Still, she's calling me. Yes, my daughter. But I say, it's okay. I think last week, that's when I spoke. My other cousin saw another interview, the interview I did, the previous interview I did. She spoke to me, thanking me. Thank you for coming out. At least we know you now. At least in everything that will come after here, we know you. I tried to tell her, I told her, your hand is not comfortable of the situation. She promised me to speak to her, though she has not so far. But if I may say, my mom still, I may accept and I accept.
Ako hapo in between.
Ako hapo in between. Kwa sababu if you call her, unasikia, mimi I'm not going direct to the point. But unasikia, huyu mtu bado anja accept. Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel so bad because I can see so far my mom needs a counselor. I don't have that capability of finding her a counselor. As well as me, myself. Because I have so many situations following me since I came out to the people.
Before we get to what happened after you started to come out, I would like you to take us through your dating session before you even got married. How are you dating? Who are you approaching? And how are you explaining your situation to them?
On the side of dating, because of my mode of dressing, and because I was brought up like a lady, of course, who will approach me?
Amen.
Amen. On my side, currently, niko na ile power ya kuambia mtu mimi no.
The men.
The men. But previously when I was wakati I was dressing even in dresses, nilikuwa tu na kupiga chenga tu. I twist you then na kutoka. Someone won't understand why nimekutoka, but mi tu napatanisha kutoka tu kiplani juu saying no to everyone, they will ask themselves why this person keeps saying no.
Yeah.
So naitikia na kurusha na kupandisha na kuteremusha, hiyo inaisha hivyo.
Currently you are dating girls, right? So how are you approaching them, and do you tell them your condition from the first meeting? Like you meet Njeri and you tell her, this is how I am, you accept me or you leave?
So far, I may say I know more date girls because I met my one and only. But ask me before I get her. I was high approaching them. I never told anyone that I'm an intersex. I was just approaching Jerry normally, like a lesbian.
Oh, not like a man.
Not like a man.
Okay.
Like a lesbian. I may say mtu mnasungukana tu. That is how I was approaching them. Yeah. Because I may say the one I am with, she's my first lady to have. Yeah. So sijui, but I was approaching them like that. Yeah, as a lesbian, not an intersex. I've never told, even the one I have, sikumwambia that I'm an intersex. She met the situation after she has agreed to stay with me.
And what was her reaction?
Mshangao. But I tried to soothe with her, explaining to her. Why were you not explaining to me earlier? But I was telling her, kama vile tu mtu anasemanga, ningekuambia ukweli ungeniitikia. Yeah.
Normally, we would have done this interview with you and your wife. But I remember you saying that you lost a marriage out of this issue of you coming out, the pressure and whatever. Is the stigma so much? Ama do you think she left because of the stigma? Ama kuna some other misunderstanding that you guys had?
I may say, since I came out to the people, that's when she ran away. Since I came from the interview, that is when she started drama. Drama over another drama. So I may say that was the main reason. Because we had no conflicts before. But when I came to the house and show her the clip, the video, alisikiza yote ikaisha. But from there, the day before that, the day after that day I show her the video, she started a lot of dramas. Why did you, mbona ulifanya hivyo? Nini, how are people taking me? I'm trying to explain, this is not you, it's me. Stay with me. So this thing has even brought a breakup
For you.
in between me and her.
And she was pregnant.
Yeah, and she's pregnant. Yeah.
Wow. Do you regret anything?
Although I'm still following her up, soothing with her, I'm regretting not to have my family inside so that they can hit whatever I'm hitting. Jerry, it's so painful. You're finding money. You don't know your family wanakula nini. Na wewe unakula. Hata ukiwa unakula, ikifika hapa manzi, unasema mimi nimeshiba. Kwa sababu you don't know wamekula nini. Kwa sababu unawape yeye na kiumbe mwenye ako na yeye, unawapenda ujue wamekula nini. So painful. Yeah.
When I was listening to your story, there's a part where you mentioned that kuna watu walikuwa wanasema watawachoma because pia hawaku understand ati you guys are not lesbians. You are just an intersex guy who is married to a girl, right? Has your coming out made things easier for you in the community?
Okay. In the community, I've not had any other issue of those things, but still, people are intending to know, or to know us more. Most probably to know me more. You'll get, nikifika kwa plot, napata naambiwa, you end like 10 visitors. These people are disturbing me, not in work, not at work, not at the plot, everywhere, wanting to know me, whom am I? And because I can't keep explaining to people, I keep hiding from the people. Yeah. So the Bonda people, you see, sasa nimetoka kwa watu. I explained how I have been in the whole of my life in Brazilians. Ndio nifumbe watu macho. So far, nimezitoa. Kwa sababu nimetoka, so many have understood me. Lakini pale kazini bado. Kwa nini? Pale kazini ni kazi inahitaji huwe kwa viatu za msichana. So that you do that work.
Oh, so at work you are a she.
Yeah. What will me do?
But when you go back home, you are a husband.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I have to do for the living. That is the work I have. Na siwezi wacha.
Do you feel like ukienda kwa makampuni kutafuta kazi kama wewe ni intersex itakuwa ngumu kwako kupata ajira?
Yes, of course. In so many companies, and they don't understand. They don't understand these things. Because so many friends of me, those who have come up since I came out, they are explaining to me. Hata nishaishikwa, I've ever been in jail because of these things. Mwingine anakuambia, I'm a man somewhere. Even I'm fearing how to stay because uko kwa nyumba ya mtu aujui atakuchukulia aje when she or he realizes that you are like that. Mwingine anakuambia mimi amwini ushago hata nashindwa what to do. Yani, yeah. Kwa hivyo in so many companies or corporations, as you have said, they have problem with us. They don't accept us. For they don't understand us. We have the problem in this our country for getting jobs. Kitu ya kwanza, niende kwa kazi yenye inaajiri msichana. Nikiwa nimevaa hivi. Do you think huyo mtu atanichukulia aje?
Hatakupea.
Aya, on the other side, kuna ule mwenye body structure yake ni ya man. Na kazi imekuwa announced somewhere ya kisichana. Aende pale. What do you think the manager will take the person? Wewe ni mwanaume unajifanya kuwa msichana. Mwingine ataambiwa wewe ni msichana unajifanya kuwa mwanaume. Atuanjiri watu kama and you hauna ile barua ya kuonyesha mimi si huyu, mimi ni huyu. Unajinyamazia, unarudi. Kwa biashara vile. In some of kuna zile biashara ziko specific. Like hiyo tu ni ushamba ya sisi sasa wa Afrika. Kuna zile biashara ziko specific. Kuna biashara uwezi fanya kama hujaspecify. So we have a lot of problem in getting jobs. That's why I'm protesting the one I am in now. By playing in work, playing a role like a dame, like a msichana.
And going home to be a husband.
Yeah.
How does that, having to live a double-sided lifestyle, affect you, your mental health?
Yeah, it affects me a lot. For in case nikifika pale kazini in the morning, I have to wear those braziers. Ndio nisishtue wenye
What are you saying you're wearing?
Those
Bras.
Yeah. Hizo nimeishi nazo. Kwa sababu niliandikwa nazo. How will they take me nikitoa? Pale tutakuwa aje? Tutakuwa wanaume wawili. Wamenizoea kama msichana. Kuna mtu tena ataitikia mimi nimfanyie zachi. Nisipofanyia mtu zachi na hiyo ndio kitu nimeandikiwa. Si nimefutwa. Niko wapi nikifutwa? Can't you see the thing is hard? So in the morning ukifika kazini, that hali you have to change. Siwezi I can't stay free like I am. Kwa sababu ya vile wamenizoea. Na kwa sababu ya kusumbua akili, how will these people say? How will these people take me? Okay. Kwa 100%, maybe the half of the percentage wataku accept. What about this other percentage? And maybe the other percentage that is left ni wakubwa. Umefutwa kazi ama hujafutwa? Utolewe pale, upelekwe tena urudishwe kwa mwenye kukuajiri. Aseme pia mimi nilikuwa na kungoja. This has become too much. Akufute, utadu. That is why I have told you since I came out to the people, problems have been mingi. Even I'm regretting
coming out.
Yeah.
And what was your aim when
but
you said
again, I thank God sitakufa moyo, kwa sababu nikifa moyo wenye wananichati na kunipigia watafa moyo kuniliko. Kama mimi mwenye nimekama out of the people na kufa moyo, si nitaua moyo sana. But as I promised earlier to the people who are like me, I promise again and again, I will be their shoulder. In any way. Yeah.
Wow. You have mentioned that after showing your wife the interview clip, that is when she started drama, and she was even worried that you actually went out and said such things. How kuwa talk through, unamwelezea, I'm going to do this interview and this may be the outcome, ama even you yourself, you didn't understand?
Even me, okay. I didn't explain to her, but I told her, on date this and this, I'll be somewhere taking an interview. On my side, because I've never been in another interview, I was not understanding what is called the interview. So I was not expecting these things now, which have come out since I went there. Yeah. So, I don't know, kama niyo kusubuliwa na watu, your person ako hivi, your person, such things, I don't know. Mimi sijui why alianza drama after seeing the video. Yeah.
Do you feel like if your parents understood about your condition earlier, they would have brought you up accordingly, and so you would have avoided a lot of this confusion on your growing up journey?
Yeah. On my side, I wish my parents understood this thing earlier. And on the question that you have asked, to our parents who are now giving birth now, having their wajukus, those who are bringing up children now, and our nurses. Because I can't say nilizaliwa mimi kwa nyumbani, hapana. Mimi nilizaliwa in an hospital. Kwa hivyo there was a nurse there. So our nurses, our parents, you being a parent, me being a parent and somebody else, please, they be examining their children a lot at their childhood, ndio ujue huyu mtu ni nani. Kwa sababu if I was brought up like a boy, yes, these things would have, they could have been there, but azingekuwa ngumu kwangu, na hata wenye wangekuwa wanajua wachache, maybe mwenye nimedate. Unaona? So I wish I was brought up like a boy. These things azingekuwa zimenichocha hivi. Kuishi maisha ya kisichana, singekuwa nasubukana na hiyo maisha sana. Yeah. So imeni affect sana hiyo kulelewa kama msichana. Kwa sababu nini? For example, nimeishi kupretend mimi niko msichana mpaka wa saa hii sasa nimekuja kunjiele. Lakini kama nilikuwa nimelelewa kama boy, ningekuwa tu kama boy, na mpaka wa saa hii ningekuwa na life yangu kama boy. Yeah.
Hiyo time ulikuwa na grow up, kuna mtu mwenye uliwahi try kuconsult, like manze sijielewi what is happening with me, like hata mimi si radi, kuna mtu shawahi try kuconsult?
I've never been with a close person mwenye tushikuwa na yeye with such conversation. Furthermore, I may say, matusi ndio zilikuwa mingi na kejeli na nini. Na mimi nalenga story. Yeah, I've never spoken to anybody. Na hata mwenye alikuwa ananiuliza, ni kweli wewe uko hivi na hivi na hivi? Na amwambia azi, wewe nani kakuambia? Huyo kakuambia nenda kamuulize vizuri. Yeah.
Kuna mtu ashai try ku take advantage, maybe anaelewa Wendy is not a he, is not a she, but they doesn't understand who they really are. But yeye akielewa juu maybe ni mtu mkubwa ama whatever, has there been any situation where you have been taken advantage of because of your situation?
Advantage like
maybe somebody harassed you, maybe somebody misled you.
Yeah. So many harassed me. Yani vile the way the person is approaching you, that you are you should not be here, you should not be with this certain group, you should not work with my children, such things. Yeah, they have been there. Yeah.
Maybe you coming out, apart from being a voice to the voiceless of your type, what else? What is your goal?
My biggest goal ni to be voice to the voiceless. For example, to some extent, if it's possible, to reach those the human rights the government human rights organizations. Because so many have been jailed, have been doing the works that are not their works just because they don't have otherwise. I may say we have the human rights organizations, but in my mind and in so many those who have spoken to me, we don't have. They are there just by the name.
They don't help you.
They don't reach to the people. Because if in a period of 2 weeks, I've got 10 people telling me I'm a university person, lakini the life imenifikisha hapa. Yani hata is the friend who is calling me, explaining, how can you help the person? Please, they are my friend. This person has gone even to a university level. But the person bando anjajielewa, ako zile za nauliza the friend what is our situation, Ananiambia the person only speaks to me, and even me, I forced them to speak to me. Even the parent don't understand them. From school to the room and lock. What about the relationship? Their relationship. The parents are forcing them to fit in girls' feet. So if there is those organization, why should they not want to reach those people? The other one, unapata mtu anakuambia mimi I'm doing this just because I don't have, otherwise nikienda in each and every job, me I'm kicked out just because of my situation. Mimi my feelings and whatever, I'm a girl, lakini face ukiona ukweli huyu mtu wako na ile sura. Sasa wachana na, unajua kuna there's somebody mwenye atakuwa na sura nyepesi, hata kama ni kijana utaona huyu ana fit everywhere. Lakini huyu ako na sura ya ume tu. Lakini anazo matiti, anazo whatever. I've been conned by 2 people. Come in our office, do this. Mimi on my side, I don't want any organization yenye inakuja mimi kuniongelesha. They take my story, they go with my story, na they are not intended to help those others.
Wenye hawajatoka bado.
Wenye hawajatoka. Mimi my biggest reason ni kuona mimi nimechoka na maisha, nimechoka kuishi maisha ya watu. Wacha nitoke. Kumbe kule kutoka kuna wengine wamechoka na maisha, lakini they are shy. Mtu hawezi ongea like I'm talking na camera. Unaona? Nikatoka, nikakuwa. Sasa kama watu wananitext kuniambia nikuwe their voice, alafu wewe na wewe unikuje unieke hapa, nitakuwa nimesaidia wale watu. Mungu hatakubali. Kwa hivyo, if anyone is planning for something like reaching out, no, that is not my, unajua kuna zile sasa helps zingine za mtu binafsi. For example, my other point ya kutoka nje kwa watu ni nipate job nyingine fresh kuliko yenye specify gender. Unaona? Hiyo nayo ni personal. Unajua huwezi itafutia watu 100.
Ni kweli.
Job. But kuna ile ingine inaitangwa at least bring these people together. I came with Jerry and the other person, at least we come, we cheer each other up. Usichoke na life. Pia mimi I'm like you, pia mimi. Unajua ukiona watu wamengana pamoja, watu 50, mnakaa vitu the same. Can't you see that thing is giving you more motive? Ya kuona, okay, si mimi peke yangu. That is still life and I have to survive. How did you manage it? Huwa anakueleza story yake. Mwingine anakueleza story yake. Unapata nguvu. Lakini tukiwa mbali, mwingine mbali, I don't see kuna kusaidika wasi kama mimi wanasaidika na the situation. For sure. So, whoever want to help in such type of help, mimi asiniambie join ni ukue mmoja wangu. Nataka tuwe wa mmoja wa hiyo kitu. At least we come together with others. Mtu akinipigia na mwambia let me connect with our counselor, the organization counselor, mwenye anajua hizi mambo. Whoever knows these things, he or she or them to speak to you. Haya. Ikifika mahali, me I don't understand kwa sababu we have 3 varieties of intersex. I don't understand where I fit. Namwambia let me get you to the specialist. Akuelezee. at least utoke kwa hiyo mwangaza. You see the thing? Si mimi unichukue wakati ule mtu akinitext ama akinipigia simu, mimi sina la kumsaidia. Huyo mtu anipea story vile anatoka kazi. Sasa ni rafiki ananipea, huyo mwenyewe amechoka kunjiongea. Ni rafiki ameamua kuniongea before after ameniona kwa the previous interview, nimepeana namba, ananipigia ananiambia niko na msee ako hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi na anaishi hivi na hivi na hivi. Huyo mtu definitely mimi I felt the person needs a counselor. But I don't have that support. That is that kind of support that I need from the people who need to help us.
Yeah.
I can't say me because I'm not the only person. Mtu kama huyo unapata wazazi wanamsukumia. So this person anataka kukansuliwa na pia wazazi. Waongelesho waambiwe these things are there. Not your child is the first person to be like that. These things are there. Kuko hivi na hivi na hivi. Hebu na waambie feelings zake zinampeleka wapi ama anafiti wapi. Support. Kwa sababu the first support starts with the parents. So if our parents don't have the know-how of these things, how will they support us? I think this is the high time tusifiche watoto. Kwa sababu kama mimi mamangu alifunzwa hizi mambo, the things azingekuwa tough to me. And these people who are calling me and texting me are grown-ups. Do you think we don't have small children wako hivyo? Si wako? Mbona sinjapigiwa na mzazi mmoja ama antext aniambia niko na mtoto wangu ako hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi, simuelewi. Kwa sababu wazazi hawaelewi. Hao watoto si watalelewa vile mzazi anataka na vile anafikiria. Wakikua si wataishi kucomplain kama venye na complain ama vile ule mwingine ana complain. So that's are some of the things that we need. At least wazazi waelezwe. Our social medias zijue kueleza the things kwa maredio, kwa kila kitu, ya kwamba kama vile unaonanga in some social medias wanaweka platform, these are the symptoms of tuberculosis. You have to tackle them like this and this and this and this. So this is wanasema these are the conditions. Ukiona umezaa mtoto wako na complication fulani, this out then go to the doctor, explain. Atakwambia ikimshinda aende juu ya mwenye yako juu yake, mpaka ujue huu mtoto wako nafaa kumlea aje, nafaa kubrota hapa aje, ni kama msichana ama ni kama kijana, ama kama sijui unisex, mpaka ye mwenyewe anjitambue. At least our parents wakikuwa na those knowledges and informations, hatutakuwa na mashinda mingi tena. Hatutakuwa na watoto wanajipata wamekuwa, unapata mtu ameshikwa na depression, hajielewi. Mtu tu amekaa, mzazi ako pale complaining, my child anafanya hivi amekuwa hivi na hivi na hivi. Hataki kujua what is the cause. Wazazi wetu wakifikiwa, our nurses wakifikiwa, mtu akikuja maternity, in case akuwe na mtoto anakaa hivi, jaribu kufikia daktari, muulize, daktari, mimi hapa sijaelewa. Sielewi huu kaa ni msichana hawa ni kijana. Mtamurahisishia ule mtoto maisha yake ikuwe rahisi kuishi, mkimtambua yeye ni nani. Yeah. Another thing, that support nilisema, hiyo sasa ni support, the general support to the intersex people. On my side, support yangu ni in case kama tu, be it a Kenyan, be it somebody from outside Kenya, as a job or something that can sustain me other than the job I'm in for now, because it's a job specifying the gender. And I'm trying to fit to the shoes. Although I don't fit, I'm forcing issues. Please, I'm asking for your help. Another thing, if anyone can support me with a counselor, mimi at least I call my mom, she come in town, at least nimpeleke pale aongeleshwe. Yani apanuliwe mafikira before sasa nifikie to the extent of reaching those other people. At least now I start healing my hood before sasa nianze kuponya wengine, nijiponye kwanza. Kwa sababu kama wangu mzazi hajapona, which example will me be giving? The same case with my wife. Kama sinjaponya yangu mboma kwanza, how will me be in a position of explaining to other intersex, you can have a relationship, you can have a fiancé. You was not born to stay alone. Follow your feelings. You can have mpoa. Unaelewa? Wakiniuliza nawaambia, this is mine. I have. Unauliza nini wewe? Si uone mimi naye. At least hata huyu wangu ningetaka sana nisaidike, nipate mimi mwenyewe naweza njisema mimi nimejiita mkutano, so I'm a counselor of myself. Lakini kuna hao watu wengine, my near people, like my mom
and your wife.
My wife. Yeah. Before now, ifike mahali to somebody where anasema sasa nataka kukua na whoever is wanting kuelezewa who is they, wacha kwanza niponye.
Mwendwa, your story is very interesting and of course very challenging, so we feel for you and we care. And thank you for even coming out to enlighten some of us that don't have tangible information about your condition. Maybe we even have family members who are like you, but because we don't have this information, we don't even know how to handle them. So thank you for coming out. Maybe before, do you feel like there's anything else that you would like us to talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
Kwa mtu yoyote yule, akwe ni wa nyumbani, akwe rafiki, akwe mtu yoyote yule, tusikuwe tunakimbilia conclusions. Kwa sababu kwa watu wengi kukimbilia conclusions, they end up misusing us, mistreating us, and doing all those sort of evil things to us because of conclusions. Like I said, watu walikuwa wamesema watatupigana mawe juu I'm practicing lesbianism. But that's not the case. Ndio maana nasema, na sio mimi peke yake. Rafiki yangu kaniambia kashikwa, anaambiwa anajifanya mwanaume, anajifanya msichana na yeye ni mwanaume. Sorry to whoever mwenye ana rush kutake conclusions zenye haziko. Try to find out kwa nini huyu mtu anafanya hivi. Kwa nini huyu mtu amedecide dressing like this. Finally ukijua ndio sasa una make, ukijua historia huyo mtu ndio una make conclusions. Friends, let us not rush to the conclusions.
Okay.
We are many. Like nilikuja kuambiwa we are like 1.5 intersex people in Kenya. Na hao ni wenye wanajulikana. Kama mimi sasa my ID inasoma female. Kwani najulikana? Sijulikani. Na mwingine na mwingine na mwingine na mwingine na mwingine. So those are wenye so tuko wengi. Tafadhali wenzetu. Wenzetu, wanaume, wanawake wenzetu, viumbe wenzetu. Msikuwe mna rush to conclusions. Kwa sababu unafanya ule mtu maisha yake inakuwa ngumu. Ule mtu anaweza kosa kulia kwa sababu hiyo tu ndio ndawa ile kubwa, kulia in front of you, lakini ule mtu akikutoka aende kwa nyumba a relax, afikirie ulimwambia nini, ulimchukulia aje, mbona ukamfanyia hivyo ama mkamfanyia hivyo, mbona ukamfuta kazi, mbona ukamfunga. Ule mtu analianga sana, inamumanga sana. Na mimi ile kitu najua, chozi la mnyonge ni baya sana. Usifanye mtu yeyote alie kwa sababu yako. Uwe unajua, uwe ujui. Taka sana kujua. Yeah.
Okay. So looking at this camera, I would like you to talk to two people. One, uongeleshe mom, because I understand that you really desire to mend your relationship with her, and for her to understand that wewe hujifanye lesbian, wewe si tumekosa adabu, it is a condition that you are born with, just that she didn't understand. And also to your wife, who is now you are kind of divorced, maybe you can talk to her if you really desire to mend things with her and make her understand that you didn't go to do that interview to embarrass her. You are just creating awareness, which also brings security for the two of you, because people will stop misunderstanding you, right?
Kwa mamangu, kwa sababu lazima ataonyeshwa video. Kwake yeye ana big phone, but najua lazima ataonyeshwa. To my mom, tafadhali, my mom, take these things easy. These things ziko na ziko na ziko. Kwa hivyo accept. Mimi si eti nimeamuka nikafikiria kutoka kwa watu. Hizi vitu ni vitu zimekuwa zikinifinya, zimekuwa zikinisumbua for long. Lakini sasa ile ya kuketi ni kuelezee, niketi na sistangu nimuelezee, niketi na mabradha zangu niwaelezee, and those other people, naona the more naelezea, the more inaniuma. Mama nikaamua kutoka kwa watu. Ndio watu wanijue na wajue wale wengine kama mimi. Kama ulivyo nilea mamangu, umenilea kusaidia. Hii ni njia moja tu ya kusaidia, ni njia ingine ya kusaidia wale wengine wako kama mimi ambao wangetaka kusaidika kwa hili ama lile lingine. Tafadhali mamangu, take this normally. Chukua tu ikiwa normal, nisamee. Kama nimekukwaza, kama mzazi lazima utashtuka, but I accept it. Wewe na wewe tafadhali, just to take it easy. Mtu akikuuliza, waambie that is it, kwani ni mtoto wangu. With your support, I know I'll go far, mom. Thank you. Kompa wangu, popote uko my dear, please. I know these things zimekuwa hard kwako, for you are not expecting this from me. But naweza sema ilikuwa njia nzuri ya mimi na wewe kupatana, kwa sababu nikienda kwa mtu akiniuliza swali, at least niko na in a position of kuelezea mtu mimi kusema ukweli mapenzi yako kwa msichana. Na naweza sema ni naye huyu wewe sasa. That is why Mungu anafanyanga, nasema Mungu anafanyanga vitu zake kwa plan. Umekuja within no time, 1 to 2 months, nimetoka nje kwa watu. Siwezi jua, huu ni Mungu amepanga vitu zake. Kwa hivyo bibi yangu nisamee tu. Turudi kama zamani. Don't mind people. Usitake kujua vile watu watasema. Watu watasema. Uwe uwai, uwe maiti, yani anytime. Watu wacha kukusema wakati utakufa. Watu watakusema. Lakini please, don't leave me just because of the people. Naomba sana, kama unasikiza, or even if your friend is watching the video, ataiona at the moment, akuonyeshe, nirudie tu. I still love you. Yeah.
Wow. And what would you tell Wendy as we close this episode today? What would you tell yourself today? And also you can give your social media handles and your number if you're comfortable, for anyone that anataka kuku reach out, maybe for counseling, for a job, ama maybe mwenye ako kama wewe na ameshindwa kukama out na need a support from you. You can start with telling yourself something and then you can give us those handles.
Okay. On my side, even if I have said I love my mom, I love my wife, I love myself. Nakupenda sana. nakupenda sana moyo wangu, nakupenda sana kwa kuwa umekuwa my counselor, umekuwa ukijipa courage, umekuwa ukijipa moyo. Hiyo miaka yote nimeishi, kwa sababu kuna ule mwingine na yeye hata kujielewa anjielewi, kujipa courage anjipi courage. Thank you for myself. To anyone mwenye anaweza taka kuni reach out in any social media platform, TikTok, me am Wendy Mwendwa, in bracket Mweshtol. Facebook Wendy Mwendwa Mweshtol bado. Instagram the same name, Wendy Mwendwa Mweshtol. And YouTube, which I'm going to give the link soon, very soon. My name will be still Wendy Mwendwa Mweshtol. My number 0703 824 566. 0703 824 566.
And as for you, our viewer, on the comment section below, you can maybe ask them clarity of something maybe you don't understand, and for doctors and counselors who would like to help them, because they have explained to us that them coming out, it has affected them even mentally, family wise, and even in their job. So you can help them by reaching out through the details they have given out. And to you, our viewer, thank you for sticking up to this point of this episode. Do make sure to leave us a comment, watch this episode, like and share with your friend as we create awareness about this issue. My name is Njeri Masi, and until next time, keep it Tuko.